Well, hello there, ladies and gents. I'm Tammy Sypniewski. Thank you so much for popping back on the channel. And in this video, I'm going to teach you guys how to make really cool light leaks that you can use as overlays on top of your video. It's like a special effect. It's a really cool look that you really don't need that much to pull off. And the best news is, once you make this video, you're never going to have to make it again. As long as you keep that file, you'll have it to just retrieve it and just slap it on top of your video. It's one of those that's one and done. Gotta love those. But before I jump into the tutorial, I just wanted to say I made a video where I announced the 2,000 subscriber giveaway winners. And I'm still sitting on a mountain of prizes that no one has claimed yet. So please watch that video to see if you're a winner. And if you are a winner, please send me your shipping address so I can get your stuff to you. I can't wait forever though, so let's have a cutoff, okay? Let's agree this Friday, which I think is December 6th or 7th. If you don't have your address to me at that time, I'm gonna pick new winners because I really wanna get rid of this stuff, okay? I don't mean to pressure you, but I'm gonna get rid of it. Okay, so let's talk about what you need to pull off the light leaks. First off, let's talk about your environment. So while I'm making this video, I'm going to have my key light on and a hair light and some practical lights. You're not going to have that, okay? You're just going to be optimally in a dark room using your other stuff, and that's it. That's how you're going to make the video. Now let's talk about the gear that you need to pull this off. Obviously, you're going to need a camera. You're going to need a light source. And I am going to be using the Bowling P1. This is an RGB light. This is an amazing light, and I've been reviewing this for the past few weeks, really putting it through its paces, bringing it out with me. It's a serious little piece of gear, and I am going to make a full review of this light, but not in this video. So you need a light source. It doesn't have to be an RGB light, but I think it will look best if it is an RGB light. If you don't have an RGB light, any light will do. Any practical light that you have hanging around, that will do. If you don't have a light, you can use a flashlight, or you can even use the flashlight that's in your cell phone. Everyone has a cell phone, so some type of light. Now you are going to need a few accessories as well. So my favorite accessory is going to be this prism, and I got this on Amazon for like 13 bucks. Anything that has a reflective surface. So I am going to be using this jar as an example. I am also going to be using a bottle of water that I've taken the label off of. So let's say that you don't have an RGB light, but you're just going to be using the flashlight on your phone, and you want your light leak to have a little bit of color. You can add a little bit of food coloring to the water to get some color into the video. You also need a black background. So I have black curtains that I just close tight. It's nighttime, so it's very dark. If you don't have black curtains, anything black, you can use a black towel, you can use that black foam core, you can use black sheets of paper. Anything that's nice and dark is going to be perfect. Okay, now let's talk about the lens that I have on my camera, because you don't want to use anything that's very wide. So I have an APS-C size sensor, and I have the 50 millimeter lens on this camera. So that is like a 70 millimeter equivalent if you're using a full frame camera. So that's going to be perfect for this. So let's say, you know, the best one that you have is like 35 millimeters. That's going to work as well. You're going to take your camera out of autofocus. You want to leave it in manual focus, and you don't want it to be perfectly focused. You want this to look fuzzy and glowy and just blooming into the lens. So you're not going to want anything sharp. I am going to be filming in 24 frames a second because as I'm moving the accessories, it's already going to be slow. You can also, you know, throw it into 60 frames a second if you think that you might want to pull this down into slow motion to use in your video. That's fine as well. Okay, so let's jump into it, show you a little bit of how I'm pulling this off. I changed up the camera angle so that you can see this a little better. And one of the effects that I really like about this Bowling P1 is that it scrolls through the RGB colors. That is going to be perfect for this light leaks video. I'm going to leave it in that effect. Now what I'm going to do is put my camera on, make sure it's out of autofocus, and I'm going to make sure it's completely out of focus, and it's looking really, really good. So what I'm going to do first is work the prism in front of my lens, just basically rolling it through my fingers back and forth. Now I am going to wear a pair of black gloves so that if I inadvertently get my fingers in there, you're not going to be able to tell that it's my fingers. It's just going to blend right into the background. You're not even going to see the glove. So I am just going to make sure that it's really out of focus here. Yep, that looks good. It's nice and dreamy and bloomy, and the color from the RGB light looks really, really good. So what I'm going to do is now hit record on this camera, and it's been so long, I don't remember where it is. There it is. And now I'm just going to constantly move the prism around in front of the lens, just back and forth, switching the position of the prism, nice and slow. So you see what I mean when I say I'm working it nice and slow anyway. I wouldn't necessarily bring mine into 60 frames a second because I'm working it pretty slow to begin with. But you can drop it into 60 frames a second. One of the things that you'll notice if I put this as an example on my film is that when I'm rocking it back and forth, you're going to be able to see some of the grid from my key light, because I have the key light on. Obviously, you're not going to have your key light on, so this is going to work perfectly for you. And that is how you basically would work the prism, just like that, rolling it back and forth in different directions in front of your lens. Okay, so I'm gonna stop that there. Now, the best thing to do is to make one long continuous video. This way you have it, I mean, I've already made mine. It's sitting in my cloud, and it's like 12 minutes long. So when you make yours, just make it one long continuous file so that you always have it. So I only hit stop because I've already done mine. So I'm gonna hit record again, and now I'm going to pull something else. So now I'm going to use the bottle of water. And I'm just going to, once again, just work this around the lens. It doesn't have to be any certain way. Oh, that looks really pretty. Just holding it horizontal like that and rocking it right up to the edge of the lens from the bottom. That looks really cool. Let's get the corner too. Hit stop there. And the last thing that I'm going to use is this jar, this reflective jar. So this should be pretty cool. Having the black glove, I think, is really helping this situation. Has my hand been up this whole time? Am I blocking the... I'm a genius. Actually, you know what? The glove actually looks pretty cool in there. Because it's a little shiny. Yeah, I'm gonna drop the glove effect in there so that you guys can check that out as well. Watch the glove thing be the best, right? You know, there's something really to be said for finding really cool things through trial and error. So that's why it's so important to just get your gear out and use it and practice with it. And that is how we can achieve some really cool light leaks or light blooms onto your lens for your videos. My friend Roman Gonzalez at Roman Wasn't Built in a Day, he's been doing so many music videos lately, and he's really having an opportunity to work with some really good artists, and I'm so happy for him. And he uses a lot of these light leaks in his different videos. If you don't know who Roman is, and it's not like he's not the kind of guy that's interested in growing his YouTube channel, but please check out his channel because he's, you know, if you're interested in doing music videos, he has a lot of different cool effects that only he's doing, and everything he does is handheld, and his coloring is just rich, and the textures are just, I mean, it's amazing. His last video that he dropped with G-Word was really, really cool. So go out and check Roman's channel, and you can check out how he uses the light leaks in his videos. Well, I thank you so much for joining me, and until next time, wear your sunblock.